Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well, and if you're not doing well, just let me know who the problem is. I will beat them up for you, no questions asked. Physical violence is always the answer, remember that kids. So there's this trend that's been going around recently. It's on TikTok, it's on YouTube, it's started coming into my Instagram feed now, it's fucking everywhere. And what all these people are talking about is the art of manifestation. If you've been living under a rock, or should I say, been too busy with real life to take note of what's going on the internet, let me explain. Manifestation is defined as a self-help strategy intended to bring about a personal goal primarily by focusing one's thoughts upon the desired outcome. These techniques are based on the law of attraction. Now, this has been around for hundreds of years. It's not a new concept, really. The phenomenon is now no longer solely spoken of in yoga studios or at monthly healing crystal meetings. It is now spread to the forefront of Gen Z. I watched quite a few videos by people my age, roughly, who are pretty big YouTubers and who swear by manifestation, and they all basically said the same thing. Think of something you really, really want, for example, a necklace, although it doesn't have to be a physical item. Write it down, think of it daily, repeat a mantra in your head, envision yourself with this necklace, and eventually it'll come true. And this is how you can attain your dream life. Now, I'm not here to tear anyone down or insult your beliefs. If you feel that this is working for you, please do not let me stop you. Fucking go for it, mate. But my qualm with manifestation is that, okay, so if someone has anxiety, as I do, that person will catastrophize situations and stress and obsess over the worst possible outcomes. However, that stuff that you worry about, at least in my case, has never fucking come true. But if you apply the rules of manifestation to this, surely it all should have come true, and the people I love and care about in my life should have died like 10 times over by now, because, I'm envisioning these horrible things. I'm having obsessive thoughts over these things. Honestly, manifestation would be an anxious person's worst nightmare. If you go to therapy for anxiety, one of the first things you'll learn is that your thoughts have no control over your external environment and are not based in reality. And that's incredibly reassuring. Following this line of thought, I've always felt that actions mean more than thoughts do. You know the age-old adage, actions speak louder than words, and I think that's true. For example, if you have intrusive thoughts about killing someone, that's one thing. But the important factor, the key factor here, is that you never actually shoved that person in front of a train or stabbed them when you were holding a knife. Or a less deathy scenario would be if you think some really nice things about someone, such as how much you appreciate them and so on, but if you never actually say it to them or show it by doing nice things in return, that person will never know how you feel unless they can somehow fucking mind read. The point is, if you aren't acting on your thoughts, they remain simply that, thoughts, and they don't have any negative or positive impact on the environment or people around you. If manifestation worked to the extent that people in YouTube comment sections swear it does for them, then why aren't they, or everyone else who makes use of manifestation, millionaires with insanely successful careers and amazing friends and partners and just basically everything they want in life? I know what some people will say. Not everyone wants those things. Maybe they didn't try to manifest becoming a millionaire. Maybe they just manifested a deeper understanding of the universe. But honestly, if you genuinely had the option of manifesting enough money to be financially stable for 5 lifetimes over, I'm fairly certain you'd do it, or at least have ended world poverty and hunger. Come on. I think that this whole mindset around manifestation kind of absolves you of personal responsibility. Rather than actively working towards your goals, you're just gonna sit there and think about them, and the universe will just grant you your wish. And then if it doesn't come true, you can just tell yourself that it wasn't meant to be and the universe has bigger and better plans for you. It kind of reminds me of this story, which I'm sure you've all heard, but I'm going to tell it anyway. There's this man, and he prays to his God every single day. God, please, please, please let me win the lottery. Every single day for like 40 years. One day, God descends from wherever he lives, and he said, "My son, please, please, please buy a lottery ticket." To sum up the story, sure, you can hope for something, but if you don't apply practical action, I think it's quite unlikely that it'll come true. It also, and this may be a bit controversial, but I think that it kind of detracts from other people's accomplishments in a way. Like, there will be someone who works really hard and takes up 3 different jobs to afford something such as their education at university or an apartment. Then there will be someone who gets the exact same thing with no effort on their part, who goes around saying that they manifested this amazing life for themselves. know me, you're a trust fund baby and your parents paid for you to get this apartment in New York City at the age of 21. There's nothing wrong with making use of the privilege you were born into or anything like that, but don't try pretend it was something you worked for, you know? When there are others who are genuinely working incredibly hard to achieve these things. It also sets incredibly unrealistic standards. I've seen a ton of TikToks of people showing their dream house or their dream apartment, and then their manifestation board where there is a picture on the board of a very similar looking apartment or house. And these people want you to believe that they achieved this by simply cutting out a picture from a magazine, sticking it on a board, thinking about it every day, and then somehow manifesting it. You're telling me that they just woke up one day to a knock on the door and there, on their front doorstep, was the deed to a house paid in full? Or did they work 50 to 60 hour work weeks, earning like 120k a year, and set 3/4 of that aside for several years until they had enough money for a down payment, and then intentionally seek out a house or apartment that suited them? Because naturally, if you're spending all that money, you're going to want a house or apartment that suits your aesthetics for long-term living. Nah, in this economy, must have been the former. Anyway, I can already predict the hate that I'm going to receive for making such a video, but I hope you understand that I'm not trying to personally attack you or anything like that, honestly. I do want you to know that I'm not some sort of chump ignorant to spirituality. I attended a spiritual church for most of my adolescent life with my mom, so I do have an insider's understanding of everything. Don't worry. It just eventually wasn't for me anymore, and I kind of shied away from practices such as this too. I struggle to see any merit in it apart from giving people hope and something to pin their beliefs in. Once again, totally fine, but maybe not something to be spreading as concrete fact. I like to think that if you put good out into the world, good things will come back to you. But whether that's rooted in reality and the generosity of the people around you or the universe, who's to say? Anyway, now that I've completely alienated my entire audience, no, but seriously, I do want everyone who watches this to know that this isn't a hate video or meant to be a negative video. It's more a video for people who see this and don't quite realize how unrealistic these standards that are set are, because there are some people who are working so hard to achieve what they want, and then they see, you know, things like this where people are quote unquote manifesting this perfect life for themselves, and they think, well, am I just not wanting what I want hard enough? Am I just not trying hard enough to get what I want? Because it seemed relatively easy for them to get what they wanted. And I want you to know that a lot of that stuff is there's a lot more behind it than just cutting out some pretty pictures and putting it on a board. Please don't read into it. Not everything you see on the internet is true in so many ways, obviously. It's very easy to feel intimidated and very easy to feel that you're not good enough when you see all these people with these amazing things and you don't have them. And you know, maybe there is some merit to manifestation, because I would say one small positive thing I feel that it does is release people of that fear of failure that really holds you back from achieving what you want. Maybe manifestation is like a placebo. When you're told that the universe is definitely going to grant you this if you ask for it, you're going to see it as a guarantee in your mind, and you're probably going to work like 5 times harder and push super hard to achieve it, because you're like, well, it's for me. You're going to fight for it so much harder, and you work so hard for it that eventually you do achieve it. I think maybe that's what happens sometimes. Maybe people think that they manifested it, but what really happened was they just stopped holding themselves back and just worked way harder than they normally would have and just powered through. And the illusion of manifestation is what helped them achieve it, which is impressive in some ways. So I can see how it can work for some people, and I can see how it has benefited people, but I don't think its source of power comes from what people think it does. I feel like a lot of people pin it on the universe, whereas it's just yourself. You should be proud of your accomplishments, and you should take personal responsibility for your accomplishments. Imagine how amazing it would be if we didn't need the illusion of manifestation to actually achieve our goals and fight for them. It'd be a pretty cool world. And I think that's all I wanted to say. I kind of just went on my own little tangent at the end there. I went very much off script. But yeah, I just had a lot of thoughts in it, and I hope that this one redeeming idea I give at the end proved that I'm not trying to just completely slander it. I can see how it makes people happy, and I can see what positives it could have. I promise I didn't make this video because I'm bitter that nothing on my manifestation board came true yet. hasn't come true yet. If we all manifest hard enough, it'll happen. Also, obviously someone will clearly notice that I do have a make a manifestation board with me kind of thing in my channel. That is satire. If you watch the video, you'll know that, but I know some people tend to look at headlines or titles and run with that. But it would be really cool actually if most of that stuff came true. So also, if you haven't seen that video yet, I think it's pretty fucking hilarious. I'm really funny. It's a good video, so I would recommend you checking it out. I will link it below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and stuff on this, because I am really curious. Like, this is like an engagement discussion type thing. This isn't me just setting out things as though they were facts. This is an opinion that I have. So yeah, I would love to hear what you think about it, and please do subscribe if you have not yet. I make content on my channel. I can't really put a label to it. It tends to be pretty random at this moment in time. It's a lot of it centers around mental health and stuff like that, because that's just something that I'm focusing on personally. Subscribe if you so wish, and have a great day.